Welcome everybody. Hopefully everything is coming through. There we go. Desktop audio is on. Let me make sure that works. Perfect. Okay, excellent. Welcome. In order to prep for the match tonight, a first HCA match against Fallschirmjäger out of China, I wanted to do a match review just to get my mental preparation locking and loading. And so tonight we're going to be going over the ESPT match on Utath that surprisingly on YouTube has gotten over 3,500 views. Mamma mia, pretty crazy. But yeah, so I figured to mentally prepare myself for the match tonight by going over this match here. And if you have any questions about Hell Let Loose, feel free to ask that during the stream, and I'll be more than happy to ask you. So we're just kind of going to go over through the game. If you haven't seen the first one that I did, we just kind of go over the game here. And I make commentary about maybe what we could have done better, kind of describing what's going on in the match and stuff. And just so we can see, just so we can walk through the match, okay? So without further ado, let's go and get started. For those of you who don't know me, I am Smithers. I am the host or the commander usually over at Helios. And so I've been playing HLL competitive now for, by golly, I think my 2-year anniversary, 2.5-year anniversary was just very recently. So yeah, have a whole bunch of stuff jam-packed in my brain. Thank you, Glow. I appreciate that, buddy.
Good luck, everybody.
So here we are. This is the competitive match versus, well, not competitive, but it was a scrim. I should say this. And so here we have Utath layout, right? So this is Chapel right in the middle. So for those of you who don't know, Chapel is heavily Allied favored. And then we have LeGrand Creek, front door for ESPT. And then we have to stretch down to Win 5 all the way down there. And so let me just go ahead and I can pop over the chat just so I don't miss any classic comments. So on ESPT, or on Utath, we have Chapel here. We have LeGrand Creek. And then we have Win 5, Uncle Red, all that kind of good stuff, right? So from Allies' perspective, we have a decent layout. From the Allies' perspective, we have a decent layout, right? So Chapel being the advantage, we should be able to push here and get in the hard cap and everything and get control. So we should be good from that aspect. And then, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab the supply truck here. As usually I do in games, commanding, I always grab the supply truck first. And just to see... or just to get my normal habitual duties of getting the opening Garys down.
And you just gotta run.
You just move the node.
Maybe.
Okay, so now we have everybody going up to the wall drop, right? And everybody's getting ready to, just prepare. So we're a minute 30 out. Tanks are rolling up, everything. I'm about to spawn some vehicles. Yep, transport truck. Drop that middle for everybody. So usually in competitive matches, you'll have multiple transport trucks, an extra Greyhound, extra light vehicle, extra recon vehicle as well.
Yep. As soon as they move it.
Okay, someone's got to. Fuck.
Aragon, move the node south.
I got Roncon doing it's fine.
Someone on D should probably do it.
Okay. So here we have, so everything's going accordingly. Drop supply drop in the south, right? So that's near, we'll get a Gary up here near Grandma's house to the east over there, just so we have something. And then 45 seconds till ball drop. Everybody's getting in position here. We have a medium. We have 2 Stewies coming through middle. And then truck going up top, which will aim over here, as you see. And then down to the south, we just have the Greyhound coming down here. I think maybe even they may have prepped a truck snipe. I forgot exactly. But yeah, for those of you, 90 FOV. I think I play with 120 actually, if I remember correctly. Or wait, is it? I forgot. Whichever the one is the wider one, I usually play with that one. I want to see everything on the. I want to see everything on my screen. Okay, so everyone's ready to go. All the marks are down, ready on the map and everything. So, and off we go. Match warm-up. Always nervous driving, commanding the supply truck here if I'm going to get stuck on anything. I practiced these routes probably,
I assume
gosh,
it's going to be enemy
I've probably done these routes 30, 40 times. Welcome those of you who just joined, doing this commander review of the ESPT match that some of you played here, maybe. This was a very, very good game. Very, very good game. So here I am just driving up. This is Hill 5, right? So this classic barbed wire and everything you got to avoid. And then, just driving on through nice and smooth, nice and smooth. Okay, so this is a classic house here in front of Chapel where I think most teams put their first Garys. This allows enough distance where you could put a Gary up on Chapel, or the little bit west of Chapel, I believe. And then, did I get the truck stuck? Oh no, truck's still okay. Okay, good. I'm already pregnant. Oh gosh. Hopefully I don't have that effect on everybody. Okay, so now I'm driving back towards east, I dropped a supply drop, if you'll notice, east of Hill 5 here, just as a backup Gary, right? So we want to have something back there just to make sure that there's sort of a reserve Gary, right? So just in case, shit hits the fan and for whatever reason they rocket snipe this Gary, they send Lux around and they get this Gary. We have a backup here east of Hill 5. Okay, so as we look at the map for the opening, everything's looking really good, right? We have strong control Chapel as expected as for the allies. And then down here, we have south control as we would expect ESPT to load up front door LeGrand Creek. It is their 4th point, right? And then up to the north, everything's looking good up there. They got the Gary up. We got a Gary, and we got another Gary down there. And I'm heading down south to get this other Gary up.
They stack south hard. Flex is getting pushed.
They stack hard south. Iqbal or Whiskey, if you can shift, if no presence in Alamo, shift south to
Okay, this is another building too that you'll see a Gary up a lot of times in competitive matches.
kind of light out here at the north.
So get back in the truck, right? We have 4 Garys up, as you just saw on the map. And for those of you that are interested in commanding, you too will get very good one day at driving and looking at the map and clicking things all at the same time. Recon's going up.
seems to be
Yeah, Clerico, what is a Gary? Good question. A garrison, for those of you who don't know, maybe some new players are watching this video, but a garrison is basically a little tabletop in the system or in the game where the whole team, any member of the team could spawn on, versus an outpost where only the squad members can spawn on.
Which squad does DJ need to go to?
Okay, so I put the Gary up here underneath this little tree, so that way it gives it a little bit of cover, right? And maybe, when the recon vehicle or enemy light tank is passing by, they won't see it as clearly, right? So at least the Gary has a little bit of cover. So yeah, when we look at the quick map here, take a quick look at the map, I should say. Strong control all across, right? And once again, that's to be expected as allies here on Utah. I think allies probably cap Chapel 95% of the time. I don't know if I've ever seen a match where it went the reverse way, but maybe you guys have. Not too sure. So I'm running recon here in the E column, right? And we see, just to give the enemy or give our armor crews an idea of where they're concentrating, and also to keep our artillery updated as far as what they
One's pushing miles right now.
where their positioning is. So question, how many more competitive seasons do you think there will be with the declining player base? I'm not 100% sure. I mean, it seems like ever since I started playing competitive, every year it's been like, oh, this game is dying, this game is dying. And it's true, like it is, the amount of competitive teams has gone down a lot, right? I think when I first started, there was probably 32 teams in seasonal, and that was wild. That was so cool to be a part of. And now we're down to low 20s-ish. So yeah, kind of concerning. But I think hopefully maybe there's some interesting things that come up in console, maybe, to come up, and maybe they could be competitive against PC. That's probably a hot topic. But maybe one day. But I'm hopeful. I want to remain hopeful. And that's one thing I want to keep publishing this type of content, is to offer some educational things to new players and to encourage them to try new things and continue playing the game, right? Because I understand some players get frustrated with not being able to, learn about the game efficiently because they have some maybe not so friendly squad leaders out there. So this is like a good educational video or thing I'm creating, I think.
Correction, that is a Puma.
And so I'm trying to post some other stuff on my channel as well, particularly against for people who aren't that good at shooting, right? I'm not that great at shooting. So I'm thinking about some content to help out people that are trying to adapt to this game's to learn how to kill in this game like I do. And I'm not great by any means. I'm no Gas. I'm no Hitman Alex. Not those guys. I'm a slow and steady mover. I move slowly throughout the map, and I'll go prone and shoot you in the ankles if I see you.
What's the presence in WM4 Sam?
Most of the time, you're not going to see me. I'm going to see you.
Okay, then, I only want you there.
Like possible.
Move more west. Myopia more west.
DJ and Whiskey ideally on service.
Okay, so update on the map. Let's see here. So really good presence here. So back Atlanta Chapel, we have an OP back here, just in case they try to sneak around. And then we have pretty good control to the south, right? And then good control to the north. So the OPs are spreading out. They're pushing west, right? So everything's looking really good. And then down to the south, we have some reflank opportunities if we need to. And then we see the Stewie here going around in the back line to wipe OPs, maybe get a rear shot on their medium or, cause some havoc.
They want me to move my OP more west, so we're going to try to reflank crossroads. There's a Lux sitting here somewhere.
Yeah, and driving through these things as commander is driving vehicles through those hedgehogs can be quite pain in the ass sometimes.
Puma's down south.
Okay, so yeah, Puma was down south, so calling out vehicles going down, obviously in chat and stuff like that, always a good sign. And so I'm driving up north here because I want to get a backup Gary, I think, up in H4, if I remember correctly, just in case something were to happen, so they have an option to go across and get up back to Win 4 up there to the north.
That Gary's coming up.
Yeah, so it's always going to be difficult in these opening situations to get your team to get Gary's down. If the map control is really dicey, especially against a good team like ESPT, and they are constantly keeping pressure on you. And it's always a juggle as commander to put pressure on your team to get Gary's up. But while that's happening, you have to understand that they're getting shot at, they're getting grenades tossed at them, they're getting artillery bouncing off their faces, right? And so you want to just remind them, hey, when you get a chance, can you get that Gary up, right? You just want to make sure you have a little empathy because they're facing hell out there on the front line.
A2's sending a couple south.
Do we need more guys south?
Sending southward.
Yes.
Able OP should be exact.
So what do we got here? Okay, so I didn't set up that Gary. I thought I did. Okay, so here I'm going. Oh, this is where, yeah, okay. This is where I'm like, hey, if I can maybe take this supply truck and who knows, maybe they're not paying attention and go across the top of the map and try to sneak around, that'd be, maybe they can make a little breakthrough on their fourth point and get a Gary up back there, right? Because I saw on the map they didn't take those supplies down, so maybe they're being a little bit lax. SPT is a great team, right? They're a good team, and there's a reason why they won seasonal, right? And maybe they're a little bit over their head, maybe. So I could take advantage of that, and maybe they don't think we're so good, and maybe I could pull a fast one on them. Who knows? But yeah, here I just drive around and try to get something up. And as you'll notice, Utath, or the chapel, is constantly flickering, right? And a key thing to know about Utath in competitive games, especially if it's this kind of layout, is that Utath here, the chapel, as soon as the map comes up, I'll point that out. But chapel here we have right in the center. And then over here we have Grand Creek, right? But they're going to be overloading this part here in E6. And so a lot of our guys are actually going to be out of sector stopping their flanks. And so their main push is going to be right here. And by overloading that piece, they're going to be essentially causing a lot of cap power and then then constantly causing the point to flicker, right? So as long as we have a few bodies around the circle, we should be okay. So here I keep driving around. I'm trying to get a flank area up, right, to maybe get some pressure on them in some way, shape, or form. But there's always somebody watching you, I feel. There's always somebody watching you. And here I drive down here, and I forgot exactly what happened, but I decided to drop a box and then get out of the truck. I think I may have gotten shot at a little bit. I forgot exactly what happened. But I tried to hide in the ditch here, and pretend nobody will see me. And I made a bad mistake as supply truck driver there. I actually dropped the box and got out of the truck at the same time, which is a terrible thing to do. You should never do that, because then obviously the enemy knows that, hey, you have a box here, right? And there's the truck, so the truck is like a beacon to say, hey, come look. I may have dropped something here, right? So terrible job by me right there. I probably should have kept driving west and try to come around behind Le Grand Creek. So that was my bad.
Recon's going up.
If we can afford it, Fox slots needs to be filled still.
Yeah, I need
Burned
two
OP.
more guys in flags to wrap around
Burned
them.
1 OP.
Okay, his map control's still looking good. It's just the point is flickering, right,
Yeah,
between
Cass's OP, like right there.
the, with all the cap pressure in that one little grid square. And this is where I try to submerge myself underwater a little bit. And I actually think
Charlie Mark, is that
my
your-
in-game SFX went to 0 because my ears were submerged. So pretty good effects right there. So the supplies, does he shoot me first, or see if I...
P4 stationary on Bravo, light vehicle mark.
I think I was being super quiet.
One's on WN7.
Hoping he didn't see me.
They're moving up. They got a OP in the trenches.
Converting
Not
some
Penis,
fuel.
the one
Always
closest
convert
to the
fuel
road.
for your armor crews. Next heavy is about to be ready to go. I should have fuel in a second.
I still need one more guy on flags.
P4's
Uh,
down.
Fox to push west. Okay,
P4's
Yeah,
destroyed.
so he took down the supplies right there. The supply box went away. And I'm trying to remain super still here.
Southside Garrison is
Trying to
running hot.
remain super still. But he sees me somehow. Of course, I don't know. Maybe it's clearly obvious that I'm right there. I think I think I'm being all
76 to
stealthy
middle.
right here and stuff. But oh, yep, there we go.
45 seconds.
Damn it. Trying to be all sneaky, but it doesn't work out.
Stealthy's OP's about to get burned. They're pushing from
Okay.
7 French.
So then we go on here. We have the Gary up at East of Hill 5, so that will be set up and everything. It's just as reserve. We're looking really good on Gary's, great on OPs. So we're just establishing that front line towards Le Grand Creek. And we also have a Whammo OP back here with Dog Squad moving around, heading towards those supplies up north. Nice job, guys. Nice job. Just got to watch that south push now. Just reminding the team, nice
Making it
job.
round south.
Copy.
They're
Tiger and
starting
Charlie.
to come a little bit north.
I'm gonna push back or push up to
Okay, I'll just skip ahead a little bit just to not, go through all hour and a half of the match. We'll just skip ahead a little bit.
We have way too many people north, guys.
Yeah, we can afford to move some of those bodies.
Yeah, so a very common thing you need to understand in competitive is just where you're allocating bodies, right? And so in this case, we need to monitor up north because ESPT, they'll squeeze through any little hole you have, and they'll find a way around to satchel your tanks and do all that sort of stuff, right? And so it's a very fine line between needing to allocate men across the board, right, across the map, and then you have to figure out how many to really concentrate in a certain area. So
North, probably to the south, guys.
it's always a balancing act because you got to stop their flanks, right? You can't just let them keep wrapping around, or else they're gonna go up there and they're gonna come up here. They're gonna wrap around. They're gonna take down this Gary, and then they're gonna get behind Chapel, all that stuff, right? So you have to move bodies. You have to spread kind of thin on these types of maps. Unless you're playing something like Foy, right, where you can see for 500 yards or something.
South to the open field.
So here, once again, still same pressure in the same area and everything, right? So we'll just skip ahead. So now we have a backline Gary that's gone up, so that's great. Now the other key part is that you want to get the backline Gary up, but you got to be careful about who you send there first, right? Because you don't want to just send 10 people and then everything pings and stuff like that. So most likely would want to send a few SLs first just to get their OPs up, and then you flood the OPs, because that Gary could be locked at any moment if I got confused over there going off in chat.
Costco, did you let Inchon kill you just now?
Yeah, he killed me. He's in the trenches.
Okay, so as you see here, I'm in the middle of the point right now. I'm monitoring the
In the
strong
trenches,
point,
got it.
and it keeps flickering between losing, contested, losing,
We're
contested.
just gonna need
yeah.
maybe to keep.
And so it's once again, it's that fine line of
Person in the circle.
I got
them shoving all that all that cap power in this grid square right here, and then just being able to balance that, because we're not really losing the point. It's just the amount of pressure that they have.
Okay, me and Lodge are gonna set up a 4-point attack.
Okay, so now we released a few SLs back there to get pressure on the Grand Creek, right? So we have Easy and Dog Squad moving behind. And once again, ESPT spread, pretty thin here. The supply truck's still out there. I'm surprised they didn't send in somebody to get that destroyed. But
Just killed me.
as you can see, the line is still holding, so we do have an opportunity potentially to send bodies on the attack
Recon
if
about
we
to
get
go
an
up.
opportunity. Plus, we do have, I was always saying I monitor as commander, is see how much armor we have coming up and where they're positioned, just in case we need them to go back to the defensive, right? And so here we have 76 here, we have 76 to the south, so we have two 76s that could potentially, worst case scenario,
Yeah, I
book
see
it
that
to the
thing.
strong point for defensive weight. Okay, so then this keeps going back and forth here. We have a medium up here now. 76s have slightly moved up a little bit. And then Gary has gone red in the back. We do have one OP in the back now. And for those of you,
What's your light vehicles in?
Mortain, I don't know. I honestly haven't played Mortain that much to know
It's nothing now,
fully
it's just like,
why.
yeah, no, clear it.
I think it's maybe because of just the terrain. Actually, I'm not even sure. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. If I can drop a bomber run to the south there through those buildings and over the tank. I don't think I've seen Mortain actually played. I know it's in the pool, but I'm not too sure if it's
Resetting back at Grandma's.
actually.
There's one squad hitting us.
Echo OP
I'm not sure if
by
any
way.
team has actually played that yet.
I would
Bomber
need
run's coming up.
MG back to me. Or Fox, actually. Who's Fox?
We start shifting more.
Okay, so we also have a Stewie here. Dis just called out asking for
We have a lot north and with light south.
a
again.
shift to the south here. So this is once again recognizing the map situation where we have a lot of clean OPs up here, and recognizing if we can shift bodies here to the south, and just to help the south
should be
defensive
overlooking south
Kind of
right
south
now.
right now.
teams out there.
Push. We should play for 3-2.
Tank on ping, it's from Flare.
Meet Ryan Assault to send all your bodies south, please.
Right now, he's about to take it. He's going out the trenches.
Okay, so Widow just called out in chat for all these bodies to be shifted to the south.
Okay, I've got a good spot up here in Chapel. I don't want to leave.
Okay, so I don't understand. They should probably add some type of button where you can minimize all squads except yours.
You guys want to let them know that
in
it's
the
the
home
south
screen.
tank.
That'd probably be pretty nice. So here I'm just putting up a Gary right by the tank. I think this Gary was taken out by a rocket or something like that. Maybe it was heading for the tank. I forgot exactly what. But this is a classic armor peak position. So in competitive play, for those of you who just play pub matches, armor just doesn't run around the map, right? Armor has very fixed spots that they usually play. And they'll line up like this, horizontal. I think it's horizontal to the building. Am I thinking that correctly? And they will go back and forth and peek where the enemy tanks are, right? So if they get hit, they can back up and repair and then re-strategize what they need to do. Precision Strike is ready to go, Armor Crews. Yeah, so announcing to your Armor Crews that Precision Strike is ready to go as well. Is I try to do that as much as possible. Doesn't always work out because obviously they're very concentrated on their positioning and where the enemy tanks are. And another thing you have to keep in mind is that there's plenty of comms going on within their own chat as well, right? So just got to be cognizant of that.
They need two
New
sports
Garrison
dog squad.
FF7.
Hey there,
Trying
Widow.
to
I'll flop.
Attack from there.
Stealthy push with docks.
Okay, so right now in the map situation, we have obviously really good control of north, right? We have Baker that's moving way down the ditch right here. And then to the south, we have plenty of armor support, so I'm not really concerned about that. Now it's all about just getting in the strong point and monitoring the situation. We even have a rogue medium out there trying to have a little fun and maybe get a nice flank attack going.
Whatever one it is.
So armor crews are always very innovative.
The bottom one,
And I have Panda here keeping me company in the church,
Recon.
making sure that everything's going A-okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna lose.
Okay, so Panda's right there. He's just Renegade. I forgot. He went through a transition and changed to Renegade for a little bit. But Renegade is right here. He's monitoring the ditch to the west of Utah Chapel, right? And then you have to the north where I'm just looking out through my binoculars and just scanning the terrain, just seeing if I see anybody. And right here I'm just dropping some backup supplies behind the narrow tank is.
No, I'm not.
And then, of course, like I said before, ESPT will always find a way, and most teams will, I say ESPT, but most teams will always find a way to get around and find some flanking attack, right? And so ESPT probably went around, right, and got to this Gary, and they're in that bunker right there, locking that Gary. Yep, and there they are. Panda to the north, there's infantry.
Copy.
Okay.
Okay, I want 1 infantry on George squad.
Okay, so we'll just skip ahead here a little bit.
We have guys.
I'm on there, Gary, on option mark.
I cannot
Option
figure out where
Gary
this guy is.
Yeah, exactly, Nami. A bunch of formerly knowns there.
Naval rep station. They're repairing this Tiger on Able Mark.
Copy, precision worthy.
He's got to be on the other side of the barbed wires.
Okay, so this is where with precisions, you got to be really careful because you can't just shoot it from any direction, right? So you got to be careful. You got to line that puppy up just right. In this case, I'm clicking in the area and I'm adjusting the angle to precision. And just to make sure when it flies in, it doesn't hit those buildings and it comes in as a nice clear lane of landing right there.
Clear tank marks up, please.
Yeah, there's more. It's more than a recon now. I think they have like a squad up there.
Now we can clear your Gary mark.
Okay, so our defensive squad lead, Zan, calls out, hey, I think they have a squad up there, right? It's not just recon anymore. So no doubt they probably got a Gary up here or something, and they're leaking SLs and stuff up here. So this is the balancing act of switching forces from the south and moving them up to the north, right? And then, as you'll see later on, we're going to have to switch them from the north back down to the south. Up HQ and set up that Gary Day.
Rotated north now.
We're gonna need north help up here.
We're bringing one of the heavies up there.
Check north flare. Check north flare.
And for those who don't know, in competitive Hell Loose now, the rule that all leagues follow pretty much is you have one artillery gun that's protected. So as you see here, we just have one artillery gun. One guy on the gun. He cannot be killed. Yeah, he's just allowed to be on artillery the whole game. He's not allowed to get off the gun, and that's it, right? So the other team obviously has the same thing. And this changes from the old days of having unlimited arty with all 3 guns. You build a whole bunch of arty defenses, which I've done before, and planned out arty defenses, which I've done before. So this is a much better change in competitive Hell Loose. You wouldn't believe how many hours people spent planning out artillery snipes from one side of the map to the other.
Infantry at AA, like they're saying.
Piece, your infantry mark is an enemy OP.
Copy.
Still echo OP for replay.
They're smoking front of church right now. There's nobody protecting this
Killed
lane
2 of the guys on the north flare.
Yeah, we gave up.
Yeah, so Renegade here is calling out the guy you saw on the MG in the church, right? He's calling out, hey, they're smoking the front of church. I don't have any help right here. Even though the OPs are clear, there obviously could be somebody that snuck through, right? A squad lead. And they could rush to the point and try to overwhelm it.
Yeah, we need squads back at front door for sure.
I understand.
Alpha, 1 round incoming.
I'm rotating my OP north then.
Okay, so Hazak calls out, hey, I'm rotating my OP north.
We have 2 hot Garys in the back line.
And I redeployed here to, I think, get this Gary up to the north, if I remember correctly.
Soon, but my OP is down for 30 seconds.
That Lux is an option.
So I'm
light
taking a
vehicle
nice
mark,
stroll here while
standing
looking at the
still.
map, trying to understand the situation.
10 seconds for OP. San, you rebuilding this garrison then?
Meanwhile, you see in the back line, we still have probes back here, right? So we have an AT player trying to harass a tank. We have dog squad lead trying to get up in position, maybe get a Gary up, maybe get an OP up, maybe something like that.
Coming from Grandma, moving north.
Yeah, using the transport building barricades. Oh, yes. All that kind of good stuff. Belgian gates. Lux on the Belgian gate tilted at just the right angle to block the rocket snipe. Beautiful stuff. Makes me think of Baby Burn in a way.
Yeah,
Defense
priority
has
is...
to prioritize backline right now.
Oh, we are. Trust me.
So this is another thing I see in pub matches too, is running a strafing run over Gary's. I mean, unless it's like you absolutely need that Gary, don't use the strafing run, right? Because it's 150 munitions, and that could be expensive in the long run, right? Especially if the enemy is locking out this Gary, locking out that Gary. So just use that sparingly, at least in my opinion. You can always depend on your squads to, just to drop quick 50 supplies to get another Gary up.
Who do they have on Chapel?
Was this a terrible... Okay, it wasn't too bad of a Gary placement by me. Okay, so yeah, I put the Gary back up here behind, just once again as backup, right? So as long as you have open Gary spots on the map, then I feel like you should just maximize them at all times, right? Unless you know that something is about to come up and you need a Gary spot open. But for the most time, you're going to want to just figure out a good spot to put backup Garys, if anything, right?
One more body dog for support. We'll try one more flank.
Okay, so we'll just skip ahead here a little bit.
Tiger's stationary.
So see here, we're slowly gaining ground. We're pushing out of Chapel, pushing to the west, slowly inching forward to LeGrand Creek, right? But we still have the presence in the back line, which we have to be cognizant of, right? Because they won't show us any cap pressure until they hit that 5th grid line, right? So remember, all 4 of these grids up here are not in sector, and these aren't in sector as well, right? So it's kind of sort of like a false, what's the word I'm looking of? A false sense of security, right? So you got to be really careful. Got to be really careful. Just keep giving our tanks the marks, guys, for their OPs and stuff. Let them... Okay, so we'll skip ahead here a little bit, guys.
Enemy Logi making its way.
Yeah, so here I'm taking the supply truck, just going to go drop off some backup boxes, I believe. Gary behind, near Hill 5 is warm. So in hindsight, we should have had somebody just posted constantly up at Hill 5 with an OP there just to monitor the back line and monitor just sight line of sight, right, to make sure everything's okay, because it's a very common spot to probe. And obviously, enemy recon SLs, any SLs can look through their binos to get a really good vision of what's going on, right?
Hey, pie seats. Check my dead body. Main road.
Here's pushing up along the road. Pings for you.
Check north flare.
Okay, so recon is constantly putting up flares, giving us intel and stuff. I'm getting shot at in the supply truck. Oh, you got me.
Yeah.
I always like to try to honk my horn a little bit to let them know. Going up as well. Let them know that it was me.
I assume they have a Gary back there on Charlie. Check HOP.
Braz is right here. We gotta get Braz back. Gotta get Braz back. Nice. Braz shoots him with a pistol.
For Gary's, I can't get this Gary up to G6.
Hill 5, Hill 5.
Yeah, if we can try to double tap Alpha now that their other Tiger is dead, we're gonna go straight south down the road.
Guys, we lost recon OP on Chapel. They're in hard cap.
Okay, so we have a warning now. Hey, they're in hard cap. We used to see a 76 is now decrewed, assuming they jumped out to try and get... they thought they got satcheled or something, right? So this is where it's like, God damn it, they got in the hard cap, right? And against some teams like W3, for example, they will find a freaking way to get into your hard cap, even though you have perfect security surrounding it. So never be surprised if they're able to sneak through. I mean, there's squad leads. There's some squad leads in competitive scene that just literally sit in a bush. They'll sit there for 15 minutes. They'll sit there for 15 minutes. And they'll wait for you to move out of the area, and they'll sneak up and put down an OP or a game.
I don't know where this guy got a satchel on our 76 from.
Something just rigged off as we're backing up.
Yeah, they
got
have
one
a guy
guy
on
on
church
chapel.
right now. The guy's on church.
Okay, so guys are called unchurched. Clear that out, guys. The flare is up. I'm trying to remain calm and everything, right? Because the flare doesn't show a massive blob. It's probably just a few, right? We do have 2 heavies right near there, and they are facing... Okay, they're both facing south, right? But obviously the spotters are probably looking back towards Chapel. We have a couple squad leads moving in, spawn at west of Hill 5. Gary spot's about to be open, Widow.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm letting the squad lead know that, hey, Gary spot's about to be open.
North, south, in the C column.
Sizable infantry coming through able to
One
defend
shot
mark.
Tiger.
Gary spot open. Okay, so this is the East Gary of Hill 5, is sort of like the reserve Gary, if you will. And I could have dismantled this Gary probably up here, but I wanted to save the 100 manpower. And so I can easily reset this one if I need to, because I have supplies right nearby.
Positioning, Ducks, how you think?
Throughout the game, I'm always trying to be like, hey, I could save this, I could save that, I could save this resource, right? Because you never know what kind of situation your team's going to be in. And who knows, you may come in a critical situation where you need to use a bombing run. Where you need to use a bombing run, you need to use a precision, you need to use a strafing run all at the same time, right? And you just blew through all that resource.
Trying to crossfire from Alamo.
They're taking Gary out too, so...
down here.
But once again, so we have a whole bunch of bodies up north, right? So these will be most likely be shifting to the south here shortly.
That might be a good precision target if they're side by side like that.
Okay, just let me know what marks the latest.
Maybe OP at Grandma's.
Yeah, we're
And with
clear in
tank
the
marks,
north
they're
for now,
always backing up. They're
so
always
expect
shifting,
pressure
right?
south.
So it's just
Yeah,
very
you can have
difficult
right
to
now.
understand when and where exactly to
Shift
draw the
bodies if you
precision.
guys can from north.
Yeah, Winfor's good, Smithers.
Okay.
Anyone got accurate marks on those road tigers?
Yeah, can we get a
I'm
flare?
focused trying to get and find out all their shit.
Can we get a
There's
flare west
still
of Chapel?
W4.
Okay, so I have one more box here.
Wasn't me, someone said it.
I wonder if I just die? Or do I drop it right
Same
here?
Gary placement, dog.
Okay, I just drop it.
Flare in 20 seconds.
San, for
Repeat
some
same
reason my
Gary
whisper
dog,
release
what?
is not working, so please make the command chat
Yeah,
calls.
you want to peek this? Is
Okay.
there actually one? Or two?
Okay, so I
Tiger on
spot the
command now.
tiger.
One tiger's on able as well.
Oh, so there actually is two. Alright.
Hey Recon, if you can
which
deal
tag you
with
gonna aim at? North or south?
fucking MG on the Grandma,
North.
I can move it.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
Dead.
Always make sure to be polite to your teammates,
tiger.
no matter the situation.
Fuck it.
Okay, so we have a 76 rolling up from mid.
Keep pushing in,
Okay, move ahead here a little bit, everybody. So we have a good blob, or a good blob, a good push down here to the south. And once again,
Delta
Dog
Alpha
Squad is
anchored
still
for a second
trying to get
here.
recon in the back. He set up a Gary, and so that is available where we can get flex SLs on, right? So that is an option. And then we have the AT gun up on Hill 5, but once again, hindsight, right? We should have had an OP up back here because they're going to be constantly trying to flake around right there.
Killed repairing. We lost the tank instantly. We need you guys to try to keep an eye on. We're gonna try to help you hold that north side.
Gary
But we
Hotwood.
got to keep that tank alive and in the game. A repair station where Infidel says, and get him some infantry cover.
Stealthy, that garrison south is line up. There we go.
So
Put down
Behind,
can you put down a mark wix where you need that repair station?
uh,
I'll drop a supply drop near.
I think, yeah, so right here everything's looking still pretty good. We just have to understand where our weak spots right now, right? And so usually in competitive, you just look at your Garys and your OPs to see what's blinking, but there are always those false sense of securities here, right? Where they could slip through. So you just got to be careful. So that's why I like to stay around the strong point and just monitor it. Plus, if the enemy does start
Gary Delta
capping,
Alpha's marker destroyed.
I can always report back what the cap pressure is, right?
We have Gary's supplies down. Docs, if you can.
Okay, so
put
here I'm
back,
dropping an
make
ammo
the
drop for our
house.
recon team.
Costco and drop an ammo drop on the
Copy.
point.
See him.
So that way they have explode
What
ammo
does
ready to
south
go
look
for all
like?
their
What's
flares.
too hot for a tank?
They're starting to wrap on 4 again.
Okay, so we'll just skip ahead.
Which way?
Okay, strong points at 2-2.
Multiple enemy infantry on me.
So as you see, ESPT switching from the south push, and they're reallocating bodies back to the north, right? And seeing if they can make any headway up there.
Be on the road near
Tiger
A's
nine.
infantry mark. Good job on the south. Let's keep focusing now on WM4. They have a footholder.
Can we get a counterflank on the north side, spawning off Zan's OP?
Yes. I know I'm aiming probably not the proper way.
I'll take the body.
Probably aiming the improper way.
Team,
here.
let's try to fill Roger OP to reflank north. Reflank north.
So just calling out to get certain fill bodies on certain OPs, right? So that way they can load up those certain OPs and then reflank through the just behind them, right? So we can wipe out certain OPs and stuff.
Got it.
Okay, so we'll just move ahead. Pretty static. Nothing crazy.
Nice.
Everything's still going back and forth here. We do have some backline Garys that are heating up, though. So we just got to be careful of that. As you can hear, I'm breathing in the game. Like,
did you say you killed Mike Mark? Yeah.
Playing ESPT is a stressful match. Because it's not over till the fat lady sings.
Defense, we're getting pushed through G6.
But I can speak in command chat. Renegade, I need your NP on ECOP now.
Okay, so defensive lead is calling for an MG.
You said on EOP?
I'm just trying to spot through my bino, see what's going on.
One in King Tank Mark, moving east.
Spreading out to the west here.
Tree all over you.
Ammo drops to the east.
Okay, ammo drops down by the point. Still pretty much back and forth. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy yet.
Recon is up.
Recon spots the tanks, front door and everything, right?
I want this heavy wicks.
Okay, so everything's still going back and forth to that building complex. We have Dog Squad down here, moving slowly but surely up to the north, spots Gary's. So what happens in the back line with backline squad leads, and the common question that people ask in competitive scene, like, why don't you have pressure on their fourth point, right? Well, trust us. We're trying. We're trying very, very hard, right? But the enemy has very good defensive probes and ways of watching what you're doing, right? So pressure in the competitive scene is much more difficult than it is in public matches.
Yeah. Gary destroyed Death on Mark.
There's a Puma in our back line.
Okay, so Scythe calls out that there is a Puma in our back line.
Scythe, bring it on
Tiger on
Fine
Able
Hill,
exact.
ask again where we want it.
Able is exact for Tiger.
We do. We do have to get that again, Nami. We do.
Loading up, Sam, I'm coming.
Oh, dude, yeah, we're fighting a 6-man up here.
Okay, so once again, just
Yeah,
blows back and forth, but we do have a breakthrough. So when our armor recognizes that there is an advantage, right? So if they say, "Hey, we knocked out 2 tigers," they shouldn't have any more tigers, because armor and competitive, they keep track of how many tigers that the enemy should have, right? So they knock out a few. They think about the fuel conversion, that sort of stuff, right? And they're wondering, hey, I think we're up on tigers, right? So as you see here, 376s are now pretty much full steam ahead towards the point.
Yeah, 1 second.
And so this is where things as commander get exciting, because you're like, oh my gosh, man, armor's moving up, armor's moving up. If armor goes down, what do we do? What do we do? Yeah, so it's this is where it gets kind of interesting.
Infantry, try to move. We have the tanks pushed up. Let's try to move on
San,
creek.
relay to command chat that we have a massive spawn in W.
They're taking ground south again. They're gonna try taking south control.
Yeah, there's a ton of them here in WN4.
Look at this. Look at this. We have 1, 2. Is that 476? I didn't realize it was 476s at the time.
Enemy Tiger spotted. Stand by.
476 is
Tiger
pushing
spotted
up here.
Dyslexic, try to get a front door Gary up, please.
And so when it comes to attacking the enemy point, yeah, it was a fun match. It was a fun match, Kanashi. It was a really fun match. Probably one of the funnest matches I've ever had, actually. So we have 476s pushing front door here. And the key thing with when you're launching that attack, you have to make sure you have a blue zone Gary up here. And I failed on my part to make sure that there was enough space for that blue zone Gary. So I should have been ready to go, and as soon as they drop the supplies, to get the Gary up, right? So here I'm dropping supplies. Peace Strike is coming in, as you can hear the Stuka.
But south of Utah.
But we have 476s pushing the point, which is wild. I hardly have ever seen that. Maybe 3, but not 4, right? So in some situations, you do have that advantage, right? And in this case, armor says, you know what, we're going for it. Infantry's got to follow us. We have to move now, or else we're not going to have this opportunity.
There's no mark on the tiger.
There is a mark on the tiger.
It's
Look on the map.
Grand Wix.
Okay, so command chat's getting kind of stern
Someone
here.
covered it with an attack mark.
Yeah, so when you have all these marks going on the map, right, it gets kind of chaotic. And so as you see here, we have maybe 3, 4 observe marks over that tank. And so armor's like, what is going on? Where is this tank at,
E6.
right?
Scythe, stop covering with attack mark, please. Use observes.
Okay, so I'm running that recon. Hopefully, strong points at 3-1 on Chapel, so everything's looking good here.
Requesting
32 minutes left to go. Recon's going up. Okay, so I'm like a little bit like, oh man, it's been a workout, guys.
Stealthy, if you can place your OP in Grandpa's house just for radar. that would be amazing.
I'm trying.
Thank you.
Okay, so as you see here, we still do not have a front door launch Gary, but Dog Squad is in the back.
Only need one mode.
North map edge.
I believe. 1 second, I think I know what
Lux
happened
north
here.
map edge.
Yeah, so Lux is coming around up north to harass and stuff like that, right? I see it through my binoculars moving across. Command light vehicle marker is a Lux.
Put more than half their team on win 4 if we don't fucking do something here.
Okay, so pressure is being felt, as you just heard through command chat. Like they have a lot of guys up here.
They're gonna have to get that carry up.
Roger.
Do we have 2 76s in the cap sector? 176 here, another 76 here.
He's fucked.
try.
He gets pressure.
Dog Squad is back here. So most likely what is happening is that obviously ESPT is like, oh my gosh, we have 3 front door 76s right now. We got to deal with these. Potentially a 4th coming up. And so all their focus shifted from maybe in the back line, right, towards front door, and which is to be expected, honestly. I mean, when you're facing that kind of situation, you're probably calling your boys back to the front line. And so Dog Squad is back here, and in perfect timing, he's able to get this Gary up.
Kind of, man. Tiger's full health. He's pushing around Mike Tank Mark, though.
Be advised, the Lux.
Okay, so we have a Gary up. Of course, backline Garys are still good. Northern Chapel Gary's warm, which gets kind of scary, right?
Tiger down on Mike. Tiger down on Mike.
Okay, so Tiger's been called down, so they should have, in theory, 0 armor within this whole sector, right? If anything, they just spawned a Tiger, and they're getting ready to bring one up. So our armor has complete advantage over the point.
Lux on Roger.
So it's going to come down to clutch AT rockets, pretty much, or satchels, from the ESPT side to
Light
take
vehicle,
these
he's
down.
in our back line.
We're at Gary limit.
Gary limits. Damn
Destroyed their Legrand Gary.
The only tiger on the map
They're
is
still
dead.
trying to build on map's edge.
Gary,
Copy.
spot open. Gary, spot open. Yeah, okay, I remember what happened.
Thank you.
All right.
Egg heard that in the back. So Dog Squad heard that. He built that Gary, and we immediately went back to Max Gary.
Oh, guys, listen to me.
Oh, that's right.
There
That's what
is-
happened.
There's a Lux in our back line right
That's
now,
what
so we need
happened.
everyone
Rotate
on
resources to
AT.
north.
Doc, I'm dead.
So,
Build
so
front door because of Gary limit again.
yeah.
What is that?
Lux
low?
just
So this is where I think I. It's like, damn it.
Down by the broken
But we're starting to get pressure. We still have 176 right there.
IC's OP is gonna have a shot at it.
I think I was
We need a
clicking on my
Gary.
keyboard trying to figure out what I needed to
Dismantle.
do. Yeah, let me go. And so I was like, all right, I'm just going to redeploy.
R3 or 8G3.
Okay,
There might be a
so I
Gary near you.
redeployed.
Please do not.
I'm dead as well.
Going
Sound
regarding
muted.
cap pressure
Sound
on
muted.
the ground.
Hey, Lux is pushing up behind Chapel.
I dismantled the Gary. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 76s pushing in on point.
Sealy, check your
Gary
north for
behind
Garrison
point is still clear as well. Team, we are all in. We are all in. Spawn on the Gary and C6 and push east. Push east. We have 3 heavies in the attack. See, that's
Multiple
dangerous.
enemies coming north
because
side of
obviously they
Creek.
could be locked
That's
out within
junction.
100 meters
It's on
at
my
any
body
time.
stealthy.
Normally I wouldn't do that,
Going
but
up.
against ESPT, you got to take your chances.
Need a re-up
All
on
right,
garrisons
deal.
behind Chapel.
Flexing attack.
If we die, Zan, immediately go back.
So clearly we have excellent control over the point and everything right now.
I'm looking one.
And I think this bombing run, I was just maybe his insurance policy. I think it ended up being pointless.
All in, all in.
And so
All
where I'm
in
breathing
Legrand, all in
deeply
Legrand.
because
Bombing run coming
rarely,
over
if
Legrand on
ever,
the
do I
south
get to
side?
call an all-in
West
against
side?
ESPT. So this was a very special moment for me. And I think I was taking it in, just taking it in very,
Recon tank south
very
red road.
deeply.
On ping.
Team, get on the garrison west of the Grand. We are all in.
Whiskey, red road. Oh, fuck.
Maybe I need a little bit
Come on.
more sterner.
Never mind.
OP down south.
Pisces, you know where that Lux went?
It went north, close to my mark.
Okay, so as you can see
Gary
here,
is
I think
locked.
the Gary...
Fill all attacking OPs. Fill all attacking OPs. So you're able to get some OPs up, obviously. So we have one OP here, Mike OP, or maybe, I think so, maybe Dog's OP still. But Mike's OP, Fox will get an OP up right here. So ESPT's basically scrunched right here in the middle of the point.
Smithers, they have
Garrison
eyes on that
Echo
Gary,
Mark.
they're all watching it.
Chapel's starting to flicker a little bit, right?
Building from center HQ.
Yeah, Nagat is that recon tank pushing up.
This is always the scary moment in the match where you're like, oh my gosh, if we don't cap this, we're most likely screwed.
Heard.
You can feel Roger still.
Okay, Wind 4 is completely unoccupied. They're pushing from there right now.
Fox 2, I'm northwest.
Team Phil, all. Okay, so we have the blue zone Gary up now. Now that Gary went down, I believe, or I took that Gary down maybe. So blue zone Gary's attack Gary, blue zone Gary attack Gary is up, and so we can all launch
OPs. Fill
into
all
the grand
attacking
ship
OPs.
tank. So we
Enemy
have
Garrison
Smithers, Lux
destroyed
behind
with
you.
a 10-person spawn wave.
Okay, so Armor calls out to say, hey, we destroyed it, and Lux harasses me in the back line and kills me.
Get subs down, get Garrison up in Creek ASAP.
Okay, so I don't,
Step the line.
most of the time, just immediately redeploys Commander. I see, like, hey, while I'm on the dead screen, what can I do, maybe, so I can avoid, having anybody wait on me. So you have a 76 pulling up here, 76 still alive here, 76 to the south, right? And ESPT, I believe, in this case, is pretty much reset to the north and pulling down these river, the creeks here and stuff, right?
Just on the attack.
Good flank.
Need flexes.
We need the north side pushing up too.
They are still in WN4 pushing south. FYI.
Everyone should be attacking. Everyone should be attacking.
Fill ROP. It's right on the front line.
King Light Vehicle Puma updated, moving west.
Inside.
Okay, so very good. We capped against ESPT. We have a
for
grand. We're up 4-1. Everything's looking good. We have 27 minutes left on the clock. I am feeling pretty damn good about the
Recon
match.
tank is coming onto point on the Grant.
Charlie light vehicle recon.
Northeast.
But you can never
Red
count
Road.
them out. Can never count them
I'm
out.
getting the garrisons up. Keep this ground, guys.
Okay, so as you see here, ESPT is still in the back line, right? So they're still able to set up spawns in the back and harass us and get crossfire in the back, which is gonna, it's gonna really hurt us here.
Widow, I'm trying to follow you up to that west side.
On the hard cap, they're snatching your tank. Check behind you. I died.
Dogs, check OP mark for Nagat. They may have had a 1 SL get through right below you.
Okay, so as you can see on the map, everybody is still really scrunched inside the point, right? And so this is where it becomes sort of chaotic in a way,
It looks like it falls on you to
because
build that Gary.
ESPT is able to focus all their fire in the middle of the point, essentially.
Close for me to do this near the strong point. I'm not. It's gonna be awkward,
And
honestly.
tanks can focus, Hardy can focus. We would, hindsight, but we would need to spread out a little bit more at post cap.
There's one on the creek still, DJ.
So my
Freaking
main
going up,
focus right
guns
now
going
is just, hey, I'm not going to be able to drive to the
Widow,
front
there's
line, the
something
supply
false
truck
south of your
in
OP.
this kind of position, right? I'll get MG to death almost instantly, or a tank will see me or something like that. So I'm going to work in the back line and make sure, just in case, 76 times, if we lose a grand, that we have Gary set up and we're good to go.
Still need garrisons up on Creek, guys. What's going on?
Trying. I'm getting shot in the back. They're
Distance
running from Chapel.
Check those south
Yeah,
OPs.
so Widow just called out, hey, they're running from Chapel here, getting shot in the back.
Slot middle P.
I'm on a counter. They're south here. I got OP up.
So ESPT did a fantastic job of resetting after that intense cap, right? So they got plenty of OPs up to the north and OPs up to the
I do have
south,
infantry next to me.
and we're able to just switch everything back to
Enemy
attacking the
tank
point
near
here.
my body. B8, unknown type. Sounds like P4.
We dropped supplies near you.
All those infantry markers
you.
up to the north.
One OP burnt south.
Whoever has whiskey, ask him to identify
I
that
burned
tank.
OP south.
It's a Panzer.
They spawned on my body.
Where's that Panzer Fort at?
Keep south, just Smithers, or one on my body.
You need help clearing the E5 head so we can.
Because you can see here, the pressure is really starting to
Grant,
mount
I'm
in the
gonna
north.
try driving north with this free transpo.
I want one
Copy.
defense, guys, on Nigat, Squad, Stealthy. We need the garrison there.
Pushing it from
Okay,
Chapel.
so
Updating
everything is
Helios is
really
P4.
just, they're pounding on us right now.
As you can see, the map position has changed within a matter of a minute or two. A lot of OPs have been wiped. Pressure's being thrown in all at the point.
Gary behind you is
Gary's warm
locked
to
out
the
right
south.
now.
OPs are warm to the north.
They're going to be coming from behind you. I'm working my way back up.
Alamo Gary is warm as well.
Hey, tell Connie's dead.
That's for free.
What is that?
Hey, we need someone coming to the north of this meat grind right now. But
Civics, help me defend this tank so they can get to it. It's right behind me.
Okay, once again, I'm just dropping supplies down in the back line, just as a insurance policy, right?
Well, they're trying to get back to this tank. Oh, like our guys?
Because it doesn't look like we have a very strong hold right now. Everybody's getting wiped.
North, south.
And you see these OPs go down, and you just don't get a good feeling.
There's bad guys at Chapel right now.
And for Commander, it's not like I'm going to jump on the front line, right, and suddenly go save the team. I have to like think ahead and think about the situation and what I could do best to help the team.
Working on the garrison and Alamo. Tracking, thank you.
Hey, I knew that.
P4 is P4 dead. P4's dead.
Okay, the P4 did die, but once again, the infantry pressure, and as we look here, I clicked the dismantle garrison button just to make sure to get a quick picture of the Gary situation.
The Gary, they're nading it.
And it's not looking good.
Check front door clear.
22 minutes left on the clock.
Definitely bad guys up there by Alamo.
South hard, very hard.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, they're all over this Gary. Trying to fill my OP.
On option mark.
Yeah, so everything starts crunching in around the point. You see OPs disappear, blueberries disappear, and you just don't get a great feeling about this. We did get a big spawn wave from back here, though.
They're already here in Windford.
But once ESPT was set up inside the point, they can get MGs for crossfire and everything. And I think that was pretty much it. Our tank did try to get in the strong point there to blast around and help, but they were getting surrounded pretty quickly.
I know.
They're dropping supplies north on 1-4.
Something back
we're
inside.
working it. Thank you.
Chapel facing Alamo. We need to retake Alamo. All defense.
Okay, so defense squad lead calls out, hey, we have to retake Alamo, which is that northern building complex north of Chapel, right here, right? Because ESPT is prepping to basically recap, right? They already have bodies in position, ready to launch, and so we have to be prepared to defend before we need to defend, essentially.
Ask a proxy for help on Alamo, Sam.
Yeah, he's already here helping me.
Okay, good.
Gato back here, firing away, doing his job.
To get that Gary built.
Heard.
If they cap, we're very soft in the north of Chapel.
Tiger pushing south on Bravo mark.
I can use reinforce if... Yeah, I think I tried to drop a reinforce, but yeah, I did. Okay, it wasn't really worth it. I mean, we were getting so much pressure on the point. I don't think it was. It was really worth it. But it's okay. It's okay. Sometimes there could be a glimmer of hope.
D4.
So pressure continues on the Grand Creek here.
Get back to Chapel.
Widow calls out saying, "Hey, defense, let's get back to Chapel." ESPT is going to be ready to go, ready to attack right away, right?
Yeah, I boxed that one before. We're good up there. We're good up
there. Okay, post, getting ready for post cap here. Legrand's about to flip. So we're back to the 3-2 post cap situation. We have a Gary up here, Gary up here. So the Gary situation is good, but we just have to fix north, right? That's north is our weak spot right now.
Reset the line, guys. No biggie, no biggie.
Yep, so remember, the allies still have to... Oh, yeah, damn it. Yeah, the commander's side, like, what are you doing up here, dude? Go away. Please go away.
You got supplies dropping north. Check the map page.
So yeah, so we're looking pretty good, right? After the cap. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I think I skipped further back here.
On Fox, light green for moving north.
Okay, 17 minutes. Okay.
Fuck! I was ass hair from the Gary. All right, they're gonna be going to the open door.
Okay, so here we're looking good. We have Gary's up north and everything, right? We have Gary's to the south. We have tanks. We have Gary even here, almost front door Legrand still, right?
Sniper on hill.
So remember, in this situation, the Axis still have to reset everything, right? So they cap, they have to reset all their Garys, they have to get in position again, they have to gain all that ground back.
Behind Chapel,
Lux is moving through the creek to
Yeah,
Chapel
there's
right
a sniper at Hill 5 and a Lux too, I think.
2 edge of map south. Look, they're coming up edge of map south.
It's down. Got rocket.
Okay, so now we're at the 15-minute mark.
Recon's going up.
The line is still looking extremely solid all around.
I got him on the road. Don't die in the tanks.
Once again, could have had an OP up at Hill 5. Would have been very good. Just a couple MGs back there maybe watching the lanes. But it's okay. You live and learn. You live and learn.
Lux on Chapel is down. We're pulling
nice.
Called it out.
Okay, so map situation's looking really solid. No complaints. No complaints. All OPs are green. Garys are green. Everything's looking sexy.
Alright, we need one more person on Zan's OP. They're fucking funneling through the open right now.
Guys.
Precision strike is ready to go.
14 minutes.
Just in case.
They're shooting you far, Ickbiller.
Everything's still looking good.
Watching.
Adam, you got 2 rounds incoming. Already.
To grandma's right now.
Is retreating.
Get it. South Scott.
Everything's still looking good. Maybe could use some presence to watch front door Chapel down the creek.
We are
Always a
15
shady
minutes, boys,
situation,
and
right?
They're gonna try some airhead bullshit any minute now.
Okay, so I'm dropping supplies in the back line just as for reserve, Gary, right? So we have extra coverage in case we need a launch from anywhere. And that way Option can also move their OP if they need to. But, I mean, look at it. The map looks good. The map looks really good. I am feeling really confident in the situation right now.
They're overloading south right now.
Copy.
I got it.
So if we skip ahead... Still looking good. 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Stay with Doc in the south.
10 minutes.
Tiger stationary on Fox. Looking north.
Tiger dead, Fox.
Tiger dead.
Nice.
Tiger just went down. I'm cruising around in the back line. I'm not getting shot.
Now. What satchel?
Are we satchel?
Duck your satchel. Duck your satchel right now.
Tank it satchel though.
What side? What side?
He's asking what side.
I think so, yeah. All I see is a
He
car.
called right.
Right side, Duck.
Oh, I see it. I see it.
Satchel players, I feel like will find
Doc, I can spawn another one for you, buddy.
whatever just unbelievable means to get a satchel in the tank. They really are the game's magicians, if you will. Okay, so I'm in Chapel now for the final 10 minutes. Strong points at 2-2. Taking a deep breath. 9 minutes. 8 minutes. Situation still looking okay. We did lose all of this ground here. So ESPT did push back. So now we're in a diagonal sort of line-ish here. Recon or defensive or scouting for the Gary up here to make sure that they can maybe wipe out the launch Gary. It's only one body, so I'm not too picky about that.
OP's coming up shortly.
8 minutes, guys.
Get back to bridge.
Yeah.
Flare shows a tank approaching front door, right? We have our 76 here. We have another 76 coming up.
Start sending.
They're very close on MG House now. Just South Chapel.
It's been a long game.
Very heavy.
It's been a long game, and it comes down to the final minutes.
Gato, shift already. MG house.
Hey, Tiger push.
Flare goes up from recon. Make sure everything's okay. Flare goes up, shows some bodies in the creek here when the Gary starts pinging in the back line. So somebody's sneaking around. Strong points 2-2.
Nice.
So another Tiger just went down, was called out. Feeling good, feeling confident.
Enemy bomber room. Enemy bomber room.
I'm gonna collapse in from the north. They don't have time to set up a north flank.
I'm getting the Gary up south side. We can hit south. We can hit south. We hit south.
Garrison, one box.
Okay, rounds are hitting the church. 6 minutes, 50 seconds.
God house is hot.
We got OP. We got Gary and OP south. We can start rerunning. Please start running their shit down.
Rebuilt east of
I am aiming as commander. Don't know what I fired at there. Some fired at something.
Needs to be built, Pisces.
Ton of guys. North of the chapel. F5.
So I hear the call out. There's a ton of guys north of chapel.
Just burned 2 OPs.
Don't know what I was doing here. Killed one, but I got out of cover. And now this was the gap all along, right? So we have this gap here that they were able to sneak in under this F4 between these two Garys, between the OPs, and now we're getting pressure directly from the north right here.
Chapel's flashing.
Now we have a call in command chat. Chapel's flashing, right? So remember, it's always important to try to remain calm in command chat. Try to remain calm because everybody starts panicking. Just remain calm, guys. Remain calm. Focus on defense.
True. Keep composure.
Holy shit, there's 2 stairs to one north.
Okay, we have these comments like this in command chat. That's like, oh my god. Now everybody's heart rate started increasing a little bit.
Or anywhere in the north.
We need a reflanks from the north. We have a Gary up there. We have 2 Garys up there. Team, we are full defense. We are full defense on chapel.
Prep needs to be filled.
In hindsight, I probably should have said, team, we need a strong reflank from F4 Gary. Please get on F4 Gary and push south. That's what I should have said. So we could have maybe had 10 bodies up there or something like that and all push south. I should have said something like that.
Right hill 5, crossfire. Where'd the Gat Tiger go? Hey, Roger, Zan.
So I'm trying to line up a bombing run here. I'm trying to guess that they're going to be pushing down this road here along the hedges.
Whammo Gary's down. Whammo Gary's down.
Whammo Gary got taken down. It's called, but the OPs are still up. OPs are still up. They're launching from those OPs.
There's no Gary where we've been hitting it.
Panzer IV just got taken down.
Check that hard
Gary's hot. Gary's hot.
Bombing run coming in over chapel.
Yeah, bombing run's coming in.
Now, normally I don't depend on bombing runs too much, but this one I was really hoping would do something.
Yo, duck word damage. Can you dump into the point?
Okay, so here actually I think I got a decent amount of kills. I was monitoring my CE here a little bit, so 43. Did I check it again? I must have checked it again. I hear a bunch of squishes.
Reinforces dropped. Please get in the circle, guys. Please get in the circle.
So 4.5 minutes. Losing. Defending. Contested. Losing.
You're at the Alamo, Gary.
Defending. Tanks are around the hard cap. But this is where the enemy armor could take advantage, right? Because they have...
Let's go, guys.
They have...
Team,
calling it now.
Defense. Make sure you're in the defensive
like we're
sector.
In the... like we're in a movie scene or something like that.
I burned another OP south.
South Gary's overrun.
I'm still burning shit.
Play screen. Okay, so we were at 3 minutes and 40 seconds here. 3 minutes, 40 seconds.
Shift now is south.
Okay, so we have pressure coming in from the north, right? But obviously all that reaction timing took bodies away from front door and everything, right? So these bodies up here, or these OPs up here, still warm.
They have a tank pushing our side.
And the enemy armor could take advantage of the situation, right? Because our armor is so focused on killing these enemy infantry that are pouring over the point, right? Where the Tigers can take advantage and get in a perfect sight line and knock out our tanks.
North of you, by the barbed wire.
And the lonely deaths of Commander continue.
H. Mark. Target H. Mark. Target H. Mark.
Okay, so everything, everything's getting squished. OPs are lighting up all around the point and everything.
Tiger Echo Mark.
Widow calls out Tiger Echo Mark in the faintest of his voices.
Spam AT.
Bill George.
In this situation, we should have also called the Phil Fox squad for the reflank, right? But it's very uncertain right now where they're coming from exactly. Well, it looks like they're coming heavy from the south. Looks like they're coming heavy from the north, right? And then possibly also front door. So it's like a trifecta of pressure going around. So as commander, you're just sitting there going, what do I do? What do I do? I don't have anything else up my sleeve. All I can do is offer my body to the cap point, right?
Tiger Satchel.
So Wix calls out, hey, Tiger Satchel, 2 minutes, 40 seconds left to go.
Hey, north brick wall.
So I spawn up north and to head up south just to see if I can clear out anything myself. But
Heavy south.
Sometimes it doesn't just go as planned.
Stealth infantry mark, please.
Do we have reinforce?
Reinforce has already been used. Reinforce has already been used.
OPs are coming from where their smoke is at. Get out the
I used it to save it the first time.
2-2.
Tiger's dead.
10-man George bodies.
Team, be sure you are in the defensive sector. Be sure you are in defensive sector, team. So I'm not too sure if I needed to call this out, right? Because everybody was pretty much dead. So these are calls I wish I could obviously take back and stuff because everybody was obviously focusing on the defensive sector. But it was one of those things where I just said it out of panic or yeah. So somebody shoots me. Jesus Christ. Somebody shoots me in the back right there. Yeah, exactly.
Phil George, Phil Charlie.
Just waiting in the hedge, waiting to shoot people in the back. Gotta love it. Okay, so go back a little bit here. Spawn in. Trying to click the Gary. 2 seconds, 1 second. So we're at 1:43. ESPT still capping. We're trying to rush towards a point. As you can see, the smoke, just the explosions. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Peace is right here. Peace officer running recon flare, right? But yeah, right now for me, it's just I'm trying to throw smoke, get everybody to go to the point. MGs are coming in for crossfire. Everybody's dying. I get shot in the head. And it's just like in those last few minutes, everything just ramped up. And I'm just sort of in shock in a way as like what happened. And at these times, everybody gets kind of quiet, right? Everybody knows we're going to lose this, aren't we?
Someone fucking mark infantry north of point, please.
Yeah. And then we get some comments like that, right? Testosterone is boosted in these last few minutes. But as we see here, we can go back just a few minutes. I'll just go back a few minutes. We go back just a few. Go back to the 8-minute mark or so. I think this was it.
They're very close on MG House now, just South Chapel.
Just want to see what the timer was on here. Yeah, so we're at the 7-minute mark, right? So 7:45-minute mark. Everything was looking pretty okay, but then that spawn way for the north.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's my commanding shock. Yeah. So with under a minute left to go, ESPT capped it back. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, really good game, guys. Really good game.
Damn.
Nothing to put your head down about.
That's all you can do in those kind of matches. You can ask for just a really, really good game, right? And,
bro, they went through fucking Alamo.
Yeah, it's just a brutal, brutal loss. It even makes me cringe now.
Calling it.
But yeah, just a big sigh of yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for joining me, everybody. I just wanted to review this match, get prep for tonight's match against Fallschirmjäger, right? So it should be a good one on Herkin. So you'll see us tonight. I forgot who's streaming us, but Helios versus Fallschirmjäger, HCA, first match. So, yeah.
Someone
okay, everybody. All right, thanks for joining me, and we'll try to make this a weekly thing, just as a good refresher.
Damn.
And for these kinds of matches. So, okay. All right, everybody. I'll see you next time.
Yeah, GG.